Hey, what's up, y'all? I know it's been a long time since I've made a video on the tube. Yeah, I know. You know, I was thinking actually, low key, I was thinking about, uh, introducing with the whole, my nigga, what it is, boy. But I don't think that'll be necessary. I don't think we'll be hearing from what it is, boy, anytime soon, if at all, anyway. I mean, it was funny. It was funny during its moment, but now it's getting kind of old. So I think we're gonna go ahead and divorce the what it is, boy. But for all time's sake, I'll say it half-heartedly at least. Yeah, what it is, boy. What it is, boy. Anyhow, let me go get into the meat of this video because in my absence, there has been a lot of ish going on lately. A lot of ish. So much so, I've been tempted to save this video for another one and address some other goofball stuff that's been going on that I definitely have to put my finger on, or at least put my 2 cents in, if you will, lack of better word. But yeah, this whole dust up, and I know I'm a little late, a little bit, but I ain't that late, which is a good thing because my I had to replace my camera, y'all. Amongst a litany of crazy ass things that have been going on since the new year. I mean, I know it's April now, but bruh, it came, these 4 months came by so motherfucking fast, made my motherfucking head spin. I can't believe, we're this deep in the year already. We're basically at the end of the first quarter of the year. Because that's how I have it up. I have the year up into, or I quarter it up into halves of, a four. Like, the 12 months of this. The first four, months of the first quarter, second four, third quarter, second quarter, the last four from like September to December of the third quarter. So I'm like, we're already going into the second quarter of the year. It's crazy. But yeah, anywho, hopefully I'm not too tired because I just woke up from my food coma. After I came back from the gym and basically stuffed my face. So hopefully I'm not still too full, too tired for that matter to address this whole dust up that happened at the Grammy Awards. So I can weigh in my 2 cents on the whole ordeal as far as what I think about this dust up between Will Smith, Jada Pinkett, and Chris Rock. Now I remember it was really late when I saw something on the internet that said Will slaps Chris Rock at Grammy Awards. And I was like, the fuck? But it was late. I didn't think anything of it. So I'm thinking maybe he probably just went up to him and kind of, like you brush slap somebody, like Like you don't just cock back and just hard at hard. I'm thinking he probably just went up to him and I mean still that would still be considered assault because you don't put your hands on people. I don't care even if it's a little like even knocking somebody like slapping somebody upside the head. I mean, you do that to somebody you don't know. See what happens to your ass. Like you cool with them or like you know them or something. Going upside a motherfucker's head. But so the day after, I mean, when I woke, well, the morning after I woke up, and that's when I saw footage of it. That's when I saw footage of Chris Rock making a joke, and as I'm sure all y'all seen, initially Will Smith laughing at the joke. His initial reaction to the Chris Rock's joke was laughter. He thought it was funny. He thought it was funny until he saw his wife, who seemed pretty perturbed by the joke. And when he saw his wife bothered by the joke while everyone else was laughing, his whole demeanor changed. By which he walked up to him, slapped the shit out of him. I mean, slapped the sweet potato pie out his mouth, and it just you know what I'm saying. It just created this awkwardness in the atmosphere, and Chris Rock tried to reel from it, but I mean, it was only so much. It was only so much he could do at that moment, especially when that. Because even after, Will Smith had slapped the shit out of him, like he said, I could tell that Chris was trying to, he was still trying to keep it light and keep it funny. And the way Will was fucking it up was when he started going off on him, talking about some keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And he's like, wow, bro, really? Like, yes. Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And I mean, that's when that's when it just went into that awkward silence, and everybody was like, "What the fuck?" Okay, so now that we pretty much sped things up as far as what transpired. Okay, on channels like mine, not just my channel, but on channels like mine, we often use the term. Um, we use terminologies like that you really don't see in the outside world when it comes to intergender dynamics, like particularly as black men, when we address black women, things like terminologies like strag, scraggle daggle, um, black widow, no pun intended, praying mantis, narcissist, um, predatory female. Because I submit to you that what happened on stage was just as vulgar and as out of taste as that was. that was nothing more than at at the worst case scenario, that was a PG-13 rendition of what happens in the community all the time. All the time. Niggas fighting niggas over some worthless black bitch. And what what this what having witnessed this made me realize, because I never had my scope on Jada Pinkett. I mean, I had no reason to. I watched her grow up through the in the 90s as a kid. I watched her on Jet magazines. I watched her in her movies like Poetic Justice, and of course uh, mostly hood films, interestingly enough. And that's probably, I mean, interestingly enough, that's probably one of the reasons why you never really saw Jada Pinkett playing roles in anything outside of. I mean, now she did play in some horror flick that Tales from the Hood, Demon Knight. They did have her in that. But aside from that, you ain't really just seen Jada in a whole lot of films outside of hood films. Plenty of them, plenty of roles she's played in that, right? Like, uh, I want to say, I could be wrong, but I want to say she's probably starred in A Different World. I'm pretty sure she starred in that a couple of times. But aside from like I said, Poetic Justice, uh, Menace to Society, and of course, as we all know, Set It Off. And of course, Tales from the Hood. I said Tales from the Hood. I meant Tales from the Crypt. Now she wasn't in Tales from the Hood, but she was in Tales from the Crypt. That movie Demon Knight. Aside from those four, I ain't really just seen Jada like that. Yeah, I ain't really just seen Jada like that in a whole lot of movies. And the movies that, again, most of the movies that we have seen her in were hood as fuck. They were hood as fuck. And she had me fooled. She played the role of this conscious type of sister. Most of the films that she played, like the roles that she played the role of, a conscious sister, a sister that's looking out for her black brother, a sister that's looking out for her black king. That type, you know what I'm saying? That type of sister. And come to find out, and it took an incident like this for me to realize this shit. When it's all said and done, Jada Pinkett is nothing more, nothing less than your average classic hood rat. See, I didn't always know of her origins. I didn't always know of her backstory as far as her coming from Baltimore, that fucked up city, and her basically being on the product. She was a whole basehead when Will ran into her and cleaned her up and put on game. And quite frankly, I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't know what Will saw in her. because Will, and it's a real curse too. It's a real curse. It's something that I've done in my own life because Will Smith didn't have the notoriety of a goon, of a thug. Now he's never displayed like he a weak ass nigga or nothing like that, or not even like he was soft or corny. I mean he was, but let's face it, and this is just the proof right here that even when you on some hip hop shit, even when you standing by the community and standing representing black culture like that, not giving off that vibe. And see, this is what caused me to basically throw the whole community under the bus because I ain't got no use for these. I don't have. I'm sorry, y'all. I might look like these motherfuckers, but I have no use for these fucking people. I just have no fucking use for them. Call me a coon, call me a sellout, call me whatever you want to. I don't give a fuck. In fact, it's probably for that very reason why people like me and Will Smith are still alive and Tupac isn't. Now, like I said, I never accused of a Will Smith of being some punk, because turns out he did grow up in West Philly, like the old saying go, like the old song went. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground is where I spent most of my days. But the problem is, even when you have that kind of thick skin, or a similar level of thick skin, because you've seen what you've seen growing up in these parts of the country, particularly black America, Blackistan. The failure to present yourself as a thug ass nigga is gonna land you in bad standing with your average strag. And I know this from personal experience. And even when, and the mistake that a lot of us black men make is that the notoriety that we do get playing off our strengths does get us some degree of girls based on our notoriety. But you know what the problem is with motherfuckers like us? We don't want those girls. We don't want the girls who want us. We want the girls who don't want us. See, that's a serious problem with it, and that's something that I had to pick up in my you know, among my pathology, because that's happened to me before. There was this girl, and you know what's fucked up? The girls who don't want us usually ain't the finest motherfuckers there. The girls who do want us usually be way finer, way sexier than who are giving us choosing signals versus the females who aren't giving us choosing signals for whatever reason. Ain't that fucked up? That is fucked up. That is so fucked up. But you know how it is. It's like they say, we want what we can't have. And that's our problem. We want what we can't have. Will Smith could have been had. He probably could have had all kinds of coochie. I mean, I know he's had all kinds of coochie thrown at him. Maybe not nearly as much coochie as, say, like I said, a Tupac and Eazy-E. But like I said, just off his notoriety as, and his success is not only as a TV star, not only in Fresh Prince, but, playing guest roles in other black sitcoms, you know, during the 90s, as well as his numerous movie roles. He damn near could have gotten any girl he wanted. But it's different though. It's different, when you pick up one of these strags and you just see something in them. I know what it's like. I've been there. I've been there, y'all. There was this girl. I don't know if I told y'all this. I don't, cause I'm pretty sure those of you who know me and have seen my old videos know about the woman who was the love of my life, and we saw how that went straight somewhere in the fifth portal of hell, some motherfucking where. And but there's more to that. Like years after that, and I'm still up here reeling from that. There was another girl who was almost like her lookalike. It was a different girl, but it was like a lookalike of the girl who I fell madly in love with. So, we chatting it up, we, talking, I'm trying to set things up. And, she's basically standing my ass up. I asked her out on a date, she agreed, only to stand me up. And like a dumbass, I waited probably like a whole year for an opportunity to ask her out again. And within that year, I seen all kinds of friends of hers who weren't too bad on the eyes, who was giving me the time of the day. And see, this is the part that this is where we, as black men, we fuck up. And I don't know what it is, but I'm damn determined to check it. This is why, with me having a new set of stomping grounds, I refuse to be on some one-itis shit out here. There's way too much coochie. It's way too much booty to be fixated on one chick. And I think I know what it is. It's probably like some sense of loyalty we want to show the girl that we're there for. We ain't trying to. And what's so fucked up about that? It does the polar opposite of what you would think it's supposed to do. You would think she would look at that and say to herself, "Oh, that's so sweet. He ain't trying to just run up in no random girl's booty. He trying to, be real with me. Be devoted and committed, and not, it ain't about ass and titties at the end of the day." But knowing what we know about females, shit. Shit. We now know that a female find out you ain't getting pussy like that, that's gonna do something to her pussy. I mean, it's gonna have an adverse effect on her pussy. She not gonna like that. She's gonna be turned off by that. She's attracted to dudes who do get pussy, who got a whole, circle of plates spinning around, who got options. She likes and revels in the idea of being replaced, not the idea of her being, pedestalized. And that's the mistake that we always make. We take these women and we pedestalize them. We put them as number one. And with Jada's background and all this stuff that's coming out, all this stuff that's been leaking out for years. I mean, that's been, under the surface for years, and it's just now leaking out where Jada's talking about I never wanted to marry Will, and all this and that. Never mind the fact that she was always, fucking around Tupac. And, never mind the quote unquote entanglements that she had with August Alsina. Never mind that. But, I've been in a similar situation before where I was on some one-itis shit. And I thought, and you know, it's so fucked up because I thought I was calling myself doing the noble thing, not chasing after a woman based on her ass and titties. You know, seeing something in a woman, seeing, and you know, it being a well, you know, pretty well put together woman, but a woman who can compete with even her other friends, hell no. But I like to think that, you know, it was all well, you know, it was because of her personality. That, see, that's what I'm going after. See, it ain't just ass and titties with me. And the girls with ass and titties was the ones choosing. And it's just now that I'm starting to realize. Well, it's been some time, but you know, at the time I didn't realize it. But later on, I realized, and folks was telling me, you should have fucked her friend. That's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to fuck her friends. And, you know, at face value, a motherfucker who's on some one-itis shit, that doesn't make sense to him. That doesn't make sense to him. Because you're set on that girl. You're set on her opinion of you. So, fucking her girls, the girl's friends, would be counterintuitive. At face value, I mean, that's what you're thinking. But yeah, I understand. Not that I understand the whole thing about Will Smith slapping the shit out of Chris Rock. No, I don't understand that. I don't co-sign that. And this is where I really do want to get into the meat of this video, as far as where, you know, where these hood rats have once again you know, on a public international setting has shown the world where we black men stand with these bitches. You'll forgive me if I'm starting to change into a darker tone, but that was my intentions all along, as far as you know, revealing or using this as evidence to prove where we stand as black men with, you know, your everyday hood rat daggle bitch. And why, black man, it's important that you recognize who your enemy is. Now, like I said, how many black men have died and get killed on the regular over this strag, starting some shit with another dude, and the dude cussing her out. She don't like that. She damn near come to blows with him, but she run off and tell her simp ass nigga who worships the ground, that she walk on, to go out there and handle this nigga. You see this nigga disrespecting your queen, you gonna let him talk to me like that? Like I said, this happens all the time. This is why the community is in the fucked up position that it's in. So when I saw that shit, it it really just revived the what it did was it revived the a necessity to address or readdress this situation that we black men are facing, dealing with these creatures, dealing with these succubi, and why it's of the utmost importance that we just find, instead of trying to court them, instead of trying to get with them, instead of trying to please them, instead of trying to do all this shit that is proven anything but successful, while we need to be just looking for the the exit. Because in case you haven't noticed, black man, in case you haven't noticed, simp, black women do not respond to our kindness. Black women do not respond to our simping. And I'm not saying we should be simping in the first place. Black women do not respond to thirsty behavior. And I'll tell you another insidious thing that I've noticed about black women, which kind of has something to do with, the whole thing with August Alsina. Even though, you know, August Alsina is, well in his 20s, probably early 20s. I, on the other hand, am well into my 30s. Even though I feel like I damn near finna be 40 in a few years. I'm 36 now. But one thing that I've noticed about, something I've noticed about black women? When you a young man, you ain't good enough for them, as a 20 something or 30 something, when they're in their youth, when they're in their prime, right? Especially if, like I said, you ain't a nigga who about that life. You ain't a thug, you ain't a goon, you ain't a park nigga. But one thing that I've noticed, as far as the hypocrisy of the community, is that when these women hit the wall and get in their 40s and 50s and maybe even 60s, black men, suddenly that's when you are attractive enough. That's when you're good enough to basically be, some older elder beast son husband on some son husband type shit. See, you ain't handsome when they're in their 20s and 30s and whatnot. But I mean, when you in your 20s and 30s, and like I said, she's in the prime. And I've been, there have been women my age who've called me handsome, but I mean, even then, that ain't good enough. And interestingly enough, with all the hardships that I've had dealing with women, interestingly enough, I've never been accused of being ugly. So for anyone out there who's thinking that, oh man, it's because, I mean, if you think this is about looks, look at a nigga like Flavor Flav. All the coochie being thrown at him, or that has been thrown at him at least. So this 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 war ain't got nothing to do with looks, because we're starting to realize that a lot of women don't even like uh handsome men because they look at that as competition with them. That they feel like a man's handsomeness, is might be outshining her beauty. So they'd rather just settle for an ugly nigga. See, that actually answers the question behind why is it that you seeing so much bad females with either basic niggas or even, like I said, Flavor Flav looking ass niggas. That explains that. So that ain't got nothing to do with it. But lost my track of thought. Oh, okay. Yeah, I was talking about the hypocrisy of how when black women hit the wall and start, like I said, going into their 40s and 50s, then they scoping for niggas. Then they scoping for niggas our age, right? Now, as long as she in her 20s in her prime, got niggas here left and right. Oh no, black man, you ain't good enough for her. But this is exactly what I mean when I say, man, I just can't deal with the hypocrisy of the community. Because all our lives we've been told that there's a certain kind of demeanor that you have to, there's a certain kind of protocol that you have to go by as a black man in America. And I always try to tell these people that, outside forces don't give a damn about that protocol. They might go along with it as far as expecting you to, go along with the protocol, expecting that of you. But whether or not you choose to follow that protocol, you're still a nigga to them. So what difference do it make whether or not you choose to go down the Pookie and Ray Ray protocol, the punk ass nigga protocol, the basketball player protocol, all these typical classical stereotypes that they have for us black men. What difference do it make whether or not you go down that protocol, whichever one it is, when at the end of the day, they still see you as a nigga? And believe me, let the course of my life be a prime example of that. Because I'm about as far away from a Tupac as they come. But through my crusading, if you will, for knowledge, hitting the books, being basically on some Steve Urkel type shit, like a hood version of Steve Urkel, who will still beat the brakes off your ass if need be. Cause so many, that's another problem with this whole protocol. You're thinking that a motherfucker who's in the books can't fight. Cause the media done told y'all about, it's the skinny, scrawny, nerdy kids who, like Steve Urkel, who just getting fucked up left and right. That shit don't apply where I'm from. And I ain't talking about where I live. I'm talking about where I'm from, where I grew up. Because y'all know that, like I said, y'all know I currently live in Colorado, but I'm from Memphis. But you know what? I lost my track of thought. I was gonna say something, but it don't matter. But the fact that black women feel that they have access to your black ass no matter what caliber of a black man you are, it speaks volumes to the dysfunction of the community. And then these would be the same straights who have the nerve to wonder why we're choosing not to engage. I'm like, well, something. I mean, if you wasn't dealing with Pookie, like, if you was dealing with Pookie and Ray Ray, you wouldn't even be worried about why we choose not to engage. So something fucked up must be happening between her and Pookie. Unless Pookie getting his ass blowed off one time's too many, and it ain't too many of them around now. Cause they either getting shot the fuck up or locked the fuck up. So now you going to actual black men, not black males, black men. There's a difference. There's a difference between a black man and a black male. This is the part that seems to always confuse a lot of people when it comes to dealing with us. See, y'all so used to the image of a black male that when you run into an actual certified black man, you don't know what to do with that. You don't know what to do with it. You ain't used to that. a black man who's been sitting on the fence, a black man who's stayed out of trouble for the most of it, and tried to build some sort of foundation instead of fucking his life up, just doing some goofy shit trying to impress some bitch, being in and out of jail, just being a goofball in life, just being a fuck up in life. They don't know what to do with it. And like I said, you approach these women because the experience that I had with this chick, whom I come to find out later, she was a whole dyke. I didn't even realize that. And even though the telltale signs were all around me, basically, not all her friends. Otherwise, her friend, some of her friends wouldn't have been choosing up on me. And it's not like these motherfuckers wasn't fine. It's not like they wasn't fine. But most of her friends, they were like just dykes. And even the dudes the few dudes that she was hanging around was sus at best, and just straight up sugar in the tank at worst. Sweet than a motherfucker. And you don't say nothing about it. You don't make mention of it, especially if you're trying to win her graces, win her favor, because you the Forrest Gump. You the Gump trying to hunt down Jenny. But this right here is exactly why the community is in the shambles that it's in, and why we as black men of substance have to set the standards as far as what we're going to tolerate and what we're not going to tolerate when it comes to dealing with women. Because this right here, the slap that was heard all around the world, is exactly why we're the laughing stock of the planet. It's the reason why so many women of low caliber feel entitled to come to us. And I don't know about you brothers out there, but frankly, I am fucking sick of it. I am sick and tired of being handed the trash, the trash, the sloppy seconds of another man, basically. Another man's who's most likely of another race, even though, you know, it applies within the black community too. Being given the trash of, being given not only Brad and Chad's sloppy seconds, but Pookie and Ray Ray's sloppy seconds. I'm sick and tired of that shit. This is why you have, and I was gonna make a separate video, but now that it's on my mind, I can go ahead and just put it, finish it up on this video. This whole fiasco about this Paula Patton. Prior to today, I didn't even know who in the hell a Paula Patton was. But once again, it's just another, basically, Stacey Dash. Pretty much similar story, same shit, different hole, right? Where you got some mulattish chick who's been all up on Brad's dick, and now Brad don't want nothing to do with her, so now she going back to the community. And how does she do this? What's her peace treaty or her peace offering to you? Frying some tasteless ass nasty ass fried chicken. Again, going back to those old stereotypes about us.